Check, check, check. Good morning. Welcome to Million Cups. My name's Evan. I'll be your tour guide this morning. Sometimes we start with what we call a random act of art. And no, I'm not going to sing for you. Thank me for that. But what I've got is lucky enough to be involved in a little video project here over the last couple of weeks with Threefold, who aren't here this morning, unfortunately. But worked with them on a creative short film project for a product that I'm involved in. And I think they just totally knocked it out of the park, and I thought it'd be kind of cool to get a little bit of big screen time with it. Also, 2 weeks' time, they're going to be on stage at our Main Street Summit crossover that we're doing. So they're going to be on stage along with Nick Ibarra, who is the Save the Matahe guy. So anyway, watch for Threefold in a couple of weeks, but I just wanted to show you what kind of talent we have here in town, not the acting talent, but the filmmaking talent. Everything all right over there, Rob? You look like you just saw a killer.
Yeah, everything's fine.
That's all I could fit in the truck.
Boy, Steve, you're sure getting ambitious. You're gonna carve all those pumpkins with Halloween right around the corner?
Yep. I'm gonna have these suckers carved out on the porch by tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, you better get started. That guy must be out of his mind.
Wow! Steve sure has a lot of jack-o'-lanterns out there.
What? Already?
Alrighty, Steve. What are you up to over there?
Steve's killing a guy. Call the cops.
Okay, dear.
You stay here. I'm gonna get a closer look.
Don't forget your jacket.
Such a nice scarecrow. So handsome. Don't tell my husband I said that.
That's how he's doing it.
Hey, honey, I'm gonna grab the last batch of pumpkins. We're gonna have these done in no time.
That's super, dear.
Holy sh!
Trick or treat. Hello, trick or treat. Mister, trick or treat.
Pulled it off.
Mister, trick or treat.
That was a lot of fun. They, on very little budget, they screenplayed it and did the storyboards, and they shot it and did the post on it and did everything in just a few days. It's amazing, amazing team over there at Threefold. So you want to definitely check them out in 2 weeks' time. All right, I'm seeing a lot of new faces here. How many newcomers to Million Cups do we have today? Look at that. Welcome, welcome. I always love to see that, and we encourage you to come back again and again and again. Since so many of you don't know, we really have a pretty special thing going here in Bismarck 1 Million Cups. We get reports from all over the country, other 1 Million Cups, and our attendance is significantly higher. We had a recent speaker that spoke in Minneapolis a couple weeks after he spoke on our stage here, and he said there were about 10 people there, and they were in a little conference room, and nothing like the venue that we've got here. So it's all because of you. Thank you. Come back. Tell your friends. So welcome. First, let's thank our sponsors. They keep the lights on, keep this rolling. If you know these folks, please thank them. So again, for those of you that are new, what are we doing here? It's a free weekly program where we put an entrepreneur or entrepreneurs on stage, listen to their story, help them out. There's a Q&A period at the end where we can offer suggestions and help them be successful here in our community. And we're doing so over 1 million cups of coffee, and I've had that many this morning. So with that, why don't we do, let's see, we've got hashtag 1MCND. So during the Q&A, if you are feeling a little bit shy, you can use hashtag 1MCND and ask your question that way. And I think we got Lakin, there she is back there, who will ask your question for you. Beyond that, community announcements. Do we have any community announcements?
Good morning. I'm Tyler with CTB. My sister program at CTB is North Dakota Women's Business Center, and in partnership with the Bismarck Downtowners, they have a really great training session going on this Tuesday, October 22nd. It's a Grow with Google session. So there's two workshops within this. One is data to drive business growth, and the other is how to get your business online. So any entrepreneur, any small business owner, if you work for a small business, this could be a really good event for you. So I don't have any slides for this, but there are flyers out by the coffee out there if you're interested. It'll show you all the details, who, what, when, how to register, all of that. So thank you.
Good job, Tyler. He took one of my announcements, so kudos. My name is Lake, and I work with his sister program at the North Dakota Women's Business Center, and I just saw our slide up there, guys, if you want to throw it back. So today is the last day that you can purchase tickets for the North Dakota Women's Business Summit. That's happening Sunday and Monday. We've got 16 speakers lined up to pour energy into our attendees, so if you are someone or know someone who should be in the audience, definitely let them know. You can get tickets online at Eventbrite or on our Facebook page. And Google plug, that workshop happens the 22nd. It's only $20 for 3 hours, so it's a really good value.
I'm Kate from the Downtowners. We have an event in this space on Friday morning. It's called Bismarck Beacon Plugged In. Essentially, oh man, I think I can say it in this audience. It's like friend pimping. We're gonna find you some friends in the community. What we found is new people in the community, we might be friendly, but we're not as welcoming and bringing you into our circle. So we're going to talk about 7 awesome things that happen in this community on a regular basis from 7 organizations, and it's under either arts and culture, sports and rec, kids and family events, volunteering, the whole shebang. It's free to attend, so if you know new people in the community, new employees, you're an HR recruiter, just a community leader and want to find out more, so that when you're trying to hire people, you know about the Beanbag Club or whatever that's going on in town. So check it out. You can get tickets on Eventbrite or at downtownbismarck.com. Also, I got a call from Dakota Media Access yesterday. They said, hey, do you want to give away some tickets to the Horror Film Dash? And Evan's going to figure out how to give them away, but just an FYI, it's Friday. It's in this building again. Essentially, teams had like 10 or 11 days to put together a horror movie under, I don't know, like 7 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes. They had to use a specific line, a character, a prop, maybe something else. So you're going to see the submissions. It's usually $10, but we're going to give away some tickets, and Evan's going to figure out how. If you are a winner in Evans, however he figured it out, find me afterwards. I'll be out front, and we'll get you the tickets.
Okay, so what I'd like you to do is, we have another announcement then? Okay, we'll give these away and then we'll get to that. So if anybody that's willing to come up here and not up here, down here is fine. And share either your favorite thing about Halloween or a Halloween movie that just scared your pants off, whether it's when you were a kid, recently, last week, and we've already heard one funny story this morning related to that. So come on down, pair of free tickets for anybody that wants to tell me their favorite thing about Halloween or share a movie that scared their pants off. Come on, come on, come on, people. You're allowed, yes. Everyone's allowed. Hey, we got somebody else coming down. Good, I like this. It's on. Should be on. No.
Okay, so when I was a kid, I saw the movie Poltergeist. You know, the scene where the little boy is in bed and then the clown, shows up. Oh, yeah. I can't look at a clown, be near a clown. I mean, I see a clown, I go the opposite direction. I know they're creepy for everybody, but at least I know why they're creepy.
The thing I like about Halloween, I saw a scary movie once, Jurassic Park last year.
All right. Any other takers? All right. All right. Ashton. I think he may have shut this off.
We'll watch this video quick. Awesome. So I just want to invite you all to the show. It's our first ever Maker Award show. We had nominations, I think over 120 nominations that spanned all different types of industries, anyone that represented creativity or innovation in their craft. And then from there, we found expert judges to judge each of those categories. And so we have 11 makers that we're going to be awarding on stage at the Bell on November 2nd, and it's going to be in late night talk show style. So expect a hilarious host. We have a live band. We have the magician that you just seen in the video, so we'd love if you'd join us. Tickets are just $15, and so we really want to invite the community to celebrate and spotlight the talent of our region. And you can find tickets on our website. It's wearemakewell.com, or Instagram is wearemakewell. Thanks.
Thank you, Ashton. There is so much cool stuff going on in this town. All right, we've got a lot of chairs on stage here, so let's get to it. Today, speaking to us a little bit, for any of you that don't know, October is National Cybersecurity Awareness Month. And here to help us become a little bit more aware is John Nagel from Cybernet Security. And he's going to tell us a little bit about what he's going on and introduce some other panelists for us. Let's give it up for John.
Good morning, 1MC Bismarck. Thank you for having me. It is National Cybersecurity Month, and this is the 16th annual National Cybersecurity Month. There is a theme every single year, and I know we have some young people in the audience. I saw a few young students. Some student back there has an award back there with his headset on too. As a what's that? Hey Matt, what's that award that he's got? What kind of student is he? Oh, okay. So there's a theme for this. Oh, come on, Mr. Clicker. Uh-oh. There we go. So it's own it, secure it, protect it. Pretty straightforward, right? Just a couple tips for you, and this is for individuals and businesses as we become more cyber aware this month. It is a major issue, cybersecurity in particular for businesses, but also for individuals. So never click and tell, look at your privacy settings, keep tabs on your apps. How many update your apps regularly or have them automatically updated? There's a few hands. Please do that on your phones. There's like 5 different million apps that are just nefarious in each app store, so be careful there. Secure it, passphrases and passwords, the bane of every single IT, internet, app user out there. We all hate them, but please change them, make them unique. use a passphrase which isn't mentioned up here. Forget the uppercase, lowercase, special case numbers and letters. Pick something crazy, you know, a little phrase that's just unique to you. It'll have 20 characters, 25 characters, make it almost impossible to hash. You'll be much safer. Last but not least, down here in the bottom, a few little things up here. Watch out for Wi-Fi. But the last one on the bottom, if you're a business and you're collecting information, you're obligated to protect it. If you aren't, it can be awfully costly to you. So who am I? I'm a North Dakota guy, been gone for about 25 years, came back to help family out, but been doing this for a long, long time. A couple key things, been in Fortune 500 companies, CIO at GE, all those things. But what's really important to me in being a business owner and entrepreneur here in Bismarck, North Dakota, in the Mandan area too, is giving your time back. I'm on various boards here and able to give my time and expertise back. And one of the things I'm pretty proud of here at the bottom is I'm a founding member of the BSC CyberCon. It's our second year. We just completed recently, sold out both years and have had rave reviews. And then a business advisor for Walkwise. Anybody know Walkwise here in North Dakota? Pretty special company. They have actually won out of 1,000 companies. They were one of 10 selected to compete in the Techstars event. It's an accelerator program, and that program has invested $22 billion over time. So we have some great things going on here in North Dakota. Last but not least, I'm a partner in Package, and many of you know what that is too. Okay. Tech crew. Let's go again. Yes, I am a technology expert. So my business is Cybernet Security, founded it here in North Dakota in 2017. What's unique to us, we just do cybersecurity. We're not an IT shop. We're just here to protect you or help you protect yourselves. My business partner is Jerry Ketterling. He's been an industry expert for over 25 years, and that's how you find us. So a couple little things. What do we do? Cybersecurity is a complicated issue at best, right? So in order to distill it to a point of where people understand what you do and how you're going to do it for them, it's pretty simple for us. We actually secure digital information so our customers can do what they need to do in business. How do we do it? We have 3 platforms. Professional services, that's where we come in and yeah, we do your hacking then. We'll do penetration testing, try to break into your employees. What do I mean by that? We social engineer them, try to have them give us your secret sauce so we can get into your businesses. Project services are pretty simple. We manage the issues we find to resolve them for you. And last but not least, security services. We are virtual chief information security officers, virtual chief information officers, so we have those services for our businesses that can't afford them. Our customer objectives, and this is really important. We thought a long time, but what can we do for our customers? What's important to them? First thing is we want to improve their cybersecurity posture. Really, that is, how strong is your IT estate? How strong is your business estate when it relates to protecting the crown jewels of your business? Any business owners in here? Couple? Do you know the crown jewels of your business, if they get stolen, do you know what they are? Do you know who has access to them? It's really important, and we're trying to help people understand that to make them stronger in cybersecurity. Second is resiliency. If you are attacked, do you know what to do? Can you still keep operating your business while you're being attacked? And how quick can you get back online, either online or internal to your company, to provide the services to your customers and your employees? Third objective is education. Who knows what the #1 cause of cybersecurity breaches are? Shout it out if you know. Little higher level. It's you, it's each and every one of you. It's the human factor, right? We cause these issues. We're human, we click on things. Yes, it's phishing, yes, it's ransomware and all those different things, but it's all about the people. Even those people that configure your networks for you, they make mistakes. That's how this happens. And last but not least, our goal is to become a trusted advisor. You have to be an expert in this field for people to trust you because you're actually helping them protect their business, keeping them alive, protecting their customers' data. So some of the challenges that we face, this is a unique business. It's an expensive business, and what I mean by that, it's an expensive business because the resources are scarce And because they're scarce, you can imagine supply and demand, typical thing that goes on, they're pricey. So some of the challenges we run into here is it's a complicated area. It's extremely complicated. The threat actors or the hackers, they only need to be right once. You as an individual, for your private, personal things, even your photos at home, your tax returns, etc., or businesses protecting their data, you need to be right every single time. If you're not, that one time, the threat actors or the hackers will be after you, and they will get there. So the pieces to the puzzle could be your data policies, your governance, physical security, etc. The real challenge here is putting all the pieces together, completing the puzzle to improve your cybersecurity posture. That's what it's all about. But as you can see, there's so many moving parts up here. It's a big challenge for business. Where do they start? Do they even know what they need to protect? Some of the challenges that businesses face here, and this popped up pretty quick, it's the inability to identify the cybersecurity risks. It's that simple. They don't know what the risk is. Is it a regulatory risk? Could be. Is it a risk that they could go out of business? Is it a risk to their brand, their employees? Competing business priorities, who cares about cybersecurity, right? It costs money to do this, it's just another thing. I'm more concerned about getting Project X out. I'm more concerned about getting the Pumpkin Cutter 2.0 out, as I talked about here. But it's those type of things that's always competing with a different project. Lack of funding. The one thing we consistently see in this space is people do not budget for cybersecurity. It's a line item, okay? But it has to be part of the vision, but cybersecurity is not part of that vision. It needs to be. Last but not least, when you have a cybersecurity assessment, you have experts like us come in and do this work for you, we always leave you with more work, and we leave you with more money to spend to solve the problem. So that's a whole nother issue. So people say, yeah, I don't know if I want to do this. Because if I know about it, then I have to do something about it. They become culpable. So those are challenges we face as a business out there to try to get customers and actually grow our businesses. We see this every single day. So some cybersecurity facts. And what we're going to do here, typically when you have a little presentation, you got an entrepreneur up here, they're talking about their business, you have a Q&A session. We're going to do something a little different today. We're going to have a panel come up here at the end to ask the questions too. But before we do that, I just want to present a few facts to you that might generate some questions for you. So here we go. Just the numbers, over 1 million, over 1,800 victims. How often per second? Every single day of the entire year. This is what is happening in cybersecurity. 60% of the attacks are small businesses. The majority of businesses here in North Dakota, the vast majority, are small businesses with 7 to 12 employees. What do you think a $500,000 impact would do to your small business? You're probably going to end up going out of business. And that's what happens. 2/3 of them who have a successful attack are gone tomorrow or gone within 6 months. Here's something interesting. The unemployment rate for cybersecurity professionals. Anybody got an idea what it is? Throw out a number. 1.2. There it is. 0. There's over 450,000 jobs open in the United States today. In a few years, it'll be in excess of 2 million. Hence, we need to educate people to get into this field. And we have some people from BSC up here today to talk about that and be part of the panel with their new program today. You want to make a little bit of money? Average salary for a cybersecurity professional. What was that? You're close. How would you like to start out in business and get out of there and graduate and get a pretty decent salary? Most of these people earn more than their teachers, believe it or not, when they come out of school. So with that, I'd like to bring up our panelists today. Obviously me, Jason Drews from Checkpoint Technologies. Would you come on up? Save your applause to the end, but give them a big round when they get up here. We have Matt Freilich, who is a cybersecurity professor, but he's also one of the founders of the cybersecurity program at BSC. We have Nicholas C., who is another professor from Bismarck State College, and the other founding partner, who I consider these two guys to actually have done all the heavy lifting to get that program off. And last but not least, we actually have a student with us today, Evan Butland, who is in that program. Please join us on stage. Let's give everybody here a nice round of applause for... Where did Evan go? Oh, there he is.
Jumped ahead of you. All right, so Tyler's going to be on the mic. Why don't you gentlemen sit down here if you would? And are we a chair short? Actually,
go on down there.
Come on over here. I'll stand. So Tyler's on the mic. We got hashtag 1MCND. We're watching. So any questions, throw them out there. I've got one. So, you know, I think a lot of us are aware that this is an issue, but I think the question that comes to my mind is, where do I start? What's that first step to take when I'm protecting, let's say, my small business against cybersecurity attacks?
I'll take a stab at that. One thing I advocate for small businesses, they have to have a partner. Usually small businesses don't have their own IT person, let alone a cybersecurity person. So you don't know where to start. So you have to reach out to someone like John and a business and just say, hey, where do we get started? Can we form that partnership? Can we form that relationship? Even if you're not going to buy a service from John or from a different business, at least you've started that conversation. So that way when something does happen, you can pick up the phone. Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully you start your conversations before something does happen, get something in place. But you can't go it alone. There's so many small businesses I see that say, oh, my brother or my uncle's doing my IT. And I'm like, well, what does your brother or uncle know about IT? Well, they know how to turn on the computer, right? That doesn't really work very well. It's kind of like me saying I can fix my car. Well, I can fill gas and change the oil, but when something goes wrong, I need to go to the mechanic. So I advocate, find a partner. There's a lot of partners out there and just need to pick up the phone and call sometimes.
Hey, John, Carl. Great presentation, by the way. Thanks. Appreciate that. You know, one of the things that we talk about at the University of Mary, we're talking about, you have the ability to go into these businesses, but there's a network out there of hackers that are very well communicating with each other, where the vulnerabilities are. How do you educate, or is this a part of your program to educate businesses to share more of that information? Most of them are embarrassed to share it, right? They get hacked and they don't want anybody else to know. But when they get hacked, like I said, the hackers have that communication stream going around. Do you have that as a part of your program to help businesses better connect with each other on where vulnerabilities might be?
We actually do. So the number one thing we see, how many people know what ransomware is? I'm just going to digress. Great, it's great to see that. Do you know there are literally hundreds of ransomware incidents in North Dakota every single year? Do you know 3 of our major cities here had a ransomware attack? We don't. That information is not shared. To your point, Carl, we don't have a mechanism where that is shared. They are embarrassed. They don't want to put it up there. Is it going to cause a legal issue? So what we strive to do is connect like businesses when we talk to each other. So if you're in manufacturing, there's a manufacturing association here in North Dakota Hospital Association, and various others out there. We want them to be advocates for their customers, and we will come in and do some little workshops for them so that they at least can share themselves, because the bottom line is if somebody's already gone through this, it can be a huge advocate for you to recover if you have an incident.
All right, so question for you guys. Small business owner, I don't retain my customers' credit card information. I don't believe I retain any sensitive information. You know, I keep their FEIN so I can issue 1099s. That's about it. Do I need to be concerned with this as a small business?
So Jason Drews with Checkpoint Software Technologies. So a global company that develops software for cutting edge out there, work with a lot of our partners. Absolutely, small business, it's a big thing. Like Matt said, good place to start is partner. You always need to be protected, just like the awareness this month. Own it, secure it, protect it. You kind of get in a little bit of the compliance talk there, right? And the biggest keyword I picked out there is you said you don't believe. Right there's a key to me that you should get involved with your partner and start that process, right? Start building a security program to make sure you are protected, that you're not retaining any of that data.
Just to comment a little further on that, there are privacy policies that are by default you have to adhere to. I don't know how many of you know, just here in North Dakota in our Century Code, which is our basically governing body for all laws and all things with the law here in North Dakota, there is a privacy what do I want to call it? There's a privacy indicator or a privacy law in place that you must protect that data. If not, and you're not a steward of that data, you can be liable for that data. So it's becoming more and more important. And the last question I have for you, do you do business outside the state? So the answer was yes. So now you have to pay attention to those laws out there. And data, when you talk about collecting data, name, address, phone number, email, all those things, they allow you or a hacker a starting point to get more information about you, to get the really cool stuff that they really want, like social security numbers, right? Those type of things, bank account numbers. So even though you don't think you're really collecting anything, just name, address, phone, email, and date of birth is a starting point for a hacker.
I was going to mention I work with some small businesses too that swipe cards, and while they don't keep any of the cards or the numbers or anything, they technically still have to do PCI compliance. So we rely on like the Squares or a Clover or those types of devices to kind of handle that compliance for us, but you still need to separate that machine on a different network and do some things as far as firewalling it off. And so I don't know that I have a great answer to your question, but yes, it's something you should be looking at because there's a lot of businesses that are taking credit cards, and you need to be aware of what you're required to do. So.
All right, so my question is a little bit more geared towards the personal and the home. So people these days are really gearing towards smart homes, and they want everything in their house to be smart. Google, Alexa. What's your take on that and how to secure someone's home from outside attackers from accessing their personal information via a light bulb or a smart stove or whatever it is that they may have? What's your take on that?
Let's go down the line here a little bit. I definitely would I'd be very interested in Evan, the closer Evan, what his opinion is on this. Evan is a student, by the way. So Evan, any thoughts on that?
So with regards to the home, one of the biggest threats, like one of the easiest attack vectors, is through IoT devices, like you said, the smart light bulbs and things like that. And the easiest way really to protect against that is just to have a proper firewall set up. A lot of home routers will also double as firewalls. And there's some best practices that you can set within those routers. I think most ISPs will allow you access into your router configuration, and there's some best practices that you can set up that keeps the attackers outside in the first place. A lot of individuals don't exactly make for the best specific targets, so a lot of what's going to be hitting an individual will be something that's automated, that takes advantage of some sort of maybe a default setting in a router that allows for a compromise. So that's my take on that.
This is always a tricky subject and question. As a home user, really the biggest foremost thing is educate yourself on cybersecurity, right? What kind of attacks are out there? What's happening? What can I do? What should I do? What shouldn't I do? I noticed, John, I went to the Cybersecurity Month website by Homeland Security. They got a really nice guide out there, actually. So that would be number one. Probably go check that out, read through that, learn what some of these attacks are and how they can harm you and what you should look out for.
Yeah, it's a tough one. We've heard the story of the casino getting hacked through the fish tank, right? Because it's an Internet of Things device. I think for the average home user, what I would say is don't go to Amazon and buy the $2 smart plug or the $2 smart light switch. Buy something from a reputable company that they do updates on, and then you can get the updates from relatively easily and for free, because reputable companies like, say, a TP-Link or Belkin or Linksys, they should be doing updates to protect and fix those vulnerabilities. I would also tell people that, you know, as convenience goes up, security goes down. So do you really need that stove that you can start from the smartphone? I don't know. I would love that, actually, because I always go to Papa Murphy's and grab a pizza, and I want to be able to preheat my oven, you know, from my car. But do I really need that? So you need to ask yourself those questions, too. So Do you really need it? And buy from a reputable source is what I would say.
Yeah, I recommend changing your passwords. So if you buy a new router, new Internet of Things device, it'll come with a default username and password. Change it, because there's a list of those default usernames and passwords out on the internet. Anyone can look it up, and if your device is unsecured, they can just log in, change your settings. Suddenly they're stealing all your information. To Matt's point about whether you need the latest and greatest technology, just understand that I'm a cybersecurity expert. My phone is still a slider. I wish Verizon wasn't getting rid of their 3G network, because now I have to upgrade to a smartphone. There's a major attack vector right there if you're not careful. So keep that in mind.
And for businesses, real quick, in addition to the home, it applies across those, the listening devices, the Siri, the Cortana, Google Home, Alexa, etc. Be careful what you say. They are actually listening to make themselves better. You know how you all talk on there and say, hey, I'm going to go have pizza, like Matt was just mentioning here. The next thing you know, you get an ad from Papa John's or somebody popping up. It is real. It's a real thing. And last but not least, nothing is free. So if you want to get these services out there, whether it's Facebook, Alexa, or something else, keep in mind you are giving something up to get that.
Good morning. Hi, John.
Hi.
Question, cyber insurance is a hot item right now, and it's very expensive. What are some of the minimum requirements you should look at in a policy to start out with?
So when it comes to cyber insurance, this is a personal belief, and I think it's proving true, is there's a tsunami coming, right? The insurance companies, they have an idea. There's 4 or 5 big ones that are either offering the insurance or reinsurance, but I don't think they really understand what is going to be hitting them for claims. So when they write these policies, to your point, the number one thing you should look for as a business, or even if as a homeowner you may want this, at the end of the day is, what are the implied warranties? What are they expecting of you to have in place? Whether it's policies, procedures, a firewall, whatever that may be, you need to know that those are implications and warranties that if you don't have, they're not going to pay. So one of the best questions I always advise clients to do, and we help them get those policies, is where and when and what don't they cover? And have them give examples of incidents where they did not cover a particular breach or a security incident. In particular, if you're out of business for a while and you can't do business, why and wouldn't they cover that? So the biggest thing, watch out for implied warranties and make sure that you're talking to somebody that you're at least doing the foundation and the basics for cybersecurity, otherwise you won't be covered.
Okay.
Yeah, this question is for Evan. What interested you in going into the cybersecurity program? Obviously, it's new-ish. I mean, I'm not ancient, but it wasn't something that was there when I was a student. So, what interested you? What do you think you're going to do when you graduate? And maybe for the professors, what you're seeing from students, what kind of students are coming in, and where you see the program going?
So what really interested me about cybersecurity in the first place was the fact that it never really gets boring. It's a constantly evolving field. The bad guys are always trying to be one step ahead of the good guys. And so there's kind of this ongoing, struggle between the two. It's almost like a little game of war, right? So that's what really drew me into it in the first place, is that it just never gets boring.
I think you asked what kind of student typically likes our program. We actually get a lot of gamers, people that like to be involved with technology and use technology, but then they kind of get to our program and realize, oh, I'm not going to game, so it doesn't go very well. Because you have to understand how that code works and how the networking works and how those servers talk to each other, and that's what we really focus on. So what I tell students is, if you like to tinker, if you like to problem solve, you'll be a good cybersecurity person. And when I was growing up, I liked to see how things work. I liked to play with my stereo in my car. I liked to see what the latest phone that was coming out and those sorts of things. So if those sorts of things interest you, you could definitely, like John said, make some money in cybersecurity, because the opportunities are out there and the wages are pretty good. Evan's going to make more than me in a couple years, no doubt. So More than both of us combined, yep.
Yeah, I usually tell incoming students that this is a really hard field because you do have to know a lot. You have to know networking inside and out. You have to understand operating systems. You have to understand the threats. There's just a lot to know, and you've got 2 years to learn it for our 2-year degree. We also have a 4-year degree. You've got 4 years to learn it. And the difficult part for us is making sure that we're keeping it relevant, keeping it up to date, because it is changing so fast. We don't want to teach our students something that's outdated and not important anymore a year later. So there's a lot of work involved in keeping an updated and modern cybersecurity program.
So I do have a bias for the BSc program. As one of the people they reached out to in the community to find out what to do, how to do it, and actually get the program going. But they do something that's very unique there. It's a hands-on program, and that's extremely important to business. Degrees are important, but having been there and done that, and they have an unbelievable lab out there, it's growing, it's going to get better. So if you are in the program at BSc, you actually are getting hands-on with the equipment and with the tools out there to actually do this job. Last but not least, if you really want to be a hacker, it's not that hard. You might not need the 4-year degree because you can go out there and I can pay somebody to, $400 to deny you service on your website and be done with it. It's that easy to go find people to do it today. So just a little FYI, the dark web is an unbelievable resource to pick up scripts to hack your business, pick up scripts to encrypt your data to actually make a little bit of money with. So there's a lot of money being made on the dark side of the web, and it's actually relatively cheap to do it. If I want a social security number, I buy them in batches. Buy them by 100. And by the way, there's a code of ethics with hackers. If I get a bad set of 100 social security numbers, I just dial 1-800, like call Amazon, they'll send me another batch for free.
So John, I got another little fun fact for you. Let's put this cybersecurity into a little more perspective for everyone here. So working for a global organization that has an entire threat intelligence team that's looking at threats every day. So kind of like Evan said, it's very interesting, something now is changing. Throw some numbers out there. How many threats, indicators of compromise do you think that Check Point as a global leader would analyze per day? Anyone? Number?
It's more than 1 million, I can tell you that.
1 million, 5 million? 3 billion, you're getting there. You got a long way to go. So our threat intelligence team, using technologies, developing that, will analyze around 86 billion threats every single day.
How do you sleep at night? Question back here.
So I want to ask about the future with BSc and the kids you guys have and the job creation in Bismarck that will stem around that. And you guys can take on projects all around the world, correct, through cybersecurity? And does this get worse before it gets better right now with where we're sitting right now as far as hacking and people hacking us? Do you see things getting better or worse the next few years? How does the future look in the industry?
That's an easy one, Matt.
Yes. Yeah, that's a tough one. Personally, I think that it's going to get a little bit worse before it gets better. We kind of mentioned before, there's not a whole lot of communication about it. People want to keep it hush-hush. So until it happens to you, then that's when that makes you do something about it. So I think the awareness has just exploded in the last couple of years, really, and that's some good momentum to keep things going. So I think we're kind of at that stage now. We're on that teeter-totter. It could go either way. Personally, I think it might get a little bit worse before it does get better, just because of that awareness thing. Other people might have other ideas, but in terms of like the program and our students, we've really exploded at BSc. We have over, 150 students in the program. So we've like quadrupled in a year. And what I've told students is, I don't know how that's going to translate to the Bismarck, Mandan, North Dakota area, because we don't have a ton of pure cybersecurity companies. But once these companies start realizing that, hey, I do have to have a cybersecurity professional or an IT person on staff, that's really going to open some doors. But if our students want to leave North Dakota, and I hope that they don't, but if they do, they pretty much have a ticket stamped. There's just so much opportunity out there. So.
Yeah, when I started this job about 20 years ago, I'd say we'd have a full classroom of 30 students, and 20 of them guaranteed were going to be leaving from Minneapolis or someplace like that, because that's where the jobs were. Then over the years, students tended to stay local. They just didn't want to leave home. Maybe they'd come from Bowman and then go back to Bowman once they were done with school. We're probably going to see a lot more of that happening. We get a lot of online students. You don't have to physically come into a classroom to learn. You can learn from anywhere in the world these days. So as far as the education side, we're trying to make sure that we produce some qualified individuals that can go out and help you as a small business and work in large industries as well.
So the interesting thing about being a cybersecurity professional, you can do it from North Dakota. You can do it from anywhere. You don't need to be in a physical location within a corporation, within a city, within a state to do that job for them. So that's going to provide some other unique opportunities to create this unbelievable cybersecurity workforce right here in North Dakota. In addition to that, we also have some legislation that has occurred where now cybersecurity awareness, cybersecurity training is going to be available from kindergarten all the way through PhD here in North Dakota. First state in the union to do that. So we have some tremendous opportunity. We should be building an unbelievable skilled workforce. You'll start to see them happen and hit the workforce in the next 2, 3, 4 years, and as it matures over the next decade. It wouldn't surprise me that companies are going to come here because of that workforce. But again, just to emphasize, you don't need to be any particular location to be able to do this job. That's why it's so enticing. And I'm sure, Evan, down there, you can live anywhere you want, do anything you want to do, and still make a great salary and a great living.
Hi. Do you feel that the amount of negative press out there is your biggest hurdle for getting companies onto the cybersecurity wagon?
No, I think it's the best thing ever. To be very honest, when you start to see the penalties and the fines that are being paid out there by businesses and businesses going out of business, you start to see, Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg testifying before Congress, along with the Google execs. That just brings an awareness to it that needs to be in the forefront all the time. And the question earlier was asked, is it going to get worse before it gets better? I would amp it up a little bit from Matt's response. I think it's going to get a lot worse. The reason being is there's so much money to be made, and the cost of actually acquiring the data that will make you money has dropped tremendously over the past several years. And the last fact is this. The majority of businesses being attacked are in the small to medium-sized businesses. 99% or close to it of all businesses in the United States are small businesses, or defined as small businesses, which means less than 500 people. So I think it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better, and being a small business, you don't want to share that information. So absolutely love the press. As a business, I think it's great. It's a trigger point for me, right? But the flip side is I don't like seeing any business hurt or people hurt because of those attacks.
I'm not sure how this question fits in, but I've been away from North Dakota for 40-some years. Where I lived before, they had us all install smart meters on our home. And as a health professional, I didn't want the smart meter on my home because they tell you they just collect data once in a while. Well, I felt that they do more. But they actually make you pay to take the smart meter off and make you pay each day. But where does smart meters and telecommunication, that kind of stuff, fit into protecting your information? Does that enter into this at all, or is that a completely different genre?
No, it's spot on. So when you talk about smart metering, and I'll open it up to the rest of the panel here. In North Dakota, we have the North Dakota Public Service Commission. It's a government agency which actually monitors and sets regulations for telecommunication, the energy industry, et cetera. And you're starting to see in more and more states where they're actually starting to regulate those businesses that provide smart meters saying you must protect that data. At the end of the day, you're right. If they get into that smart meter and get back to your data, not only do they have your name, address, probably social security number, your payment history, how do you pay, et cetera. So that is becoming a more significant factor in government. Yes, we want less government, but at the same time, if government can help us protect ourselves by putting some regulation into place that they must have a certain cybersecurity type program to protect us, that would be vital and very important for us. So yes, and it's happening here right now in North Dakota.
I'm wondering if you could help test my kind of a theory that I've come up with this. And I think this relates a little bit to the bad press thing. So when you're thinking about cybersecurity and you look and how many here have had their information stolen, whether it be a credit card number, whether it be something, right? Okay. So, you know, we look at the news and the IRS got hacked or Equifax got hacked or, you know, people that spend a whole lot more money than most of us could afford to protect against it, which I think kind of can lead to this, like, it's useless sort of theory. But I guess from what I'm hearing here, it sounds like they're very specific targets, probably, right? Whereas the average business, the average person maybe is a little bit less of a specific target. So as long as you're doing a few things, making yourself not a soft target, you're probably going to be okay. I mean, there's no guarantee, right? I mean, if there was, somebody would have that and they would charge a lot for it. But could you talk just a little bit about that? What, you know, where all that lands for, you know, for each of us?
Jason?
Take that. I think the biggest thing about targets out there, right? Each and every one of us here are a target. John had something, fun fact on the board here earlier. I always like little facts. Small business, right? Everybody thinks, oh, I'm just a little company over here in the corner, no big deal, I don't have to worry about anything. There's actually a lot of attackers out there, hackers, that are looking for small business. Why? They're easy to compromise, right? They don't necessarily have the funds, the people on staff that can help put together a program to protect them correctly. So it's a big major thing out there. Small business, a lot of times, they're the ones that they go after, right? So I always go back to the roots of, you know, like Matt and the team here were saying earlier, get your partner involved. Make sure you're doing the right things, that you're protected.
The other key point to this is small businesses are an easier in than large businesses. Depending on your industry, you're also an easier in. But why do they want into your business? They use you as a pivot point to get to the next level of company or information, meaning you probably have a supply chain where you're connected or doing business with a vendor that's providing you services for your company. If they can get to you, then get to that login and get into that next business, and the next business, eventually they'll start hitting some very significant sizes of business, you know, in the hundreds of millions of dollars, and now they're really going to be making money. So the typical attack is, yes, that you have valuable data, it will benefit them, but more importantly, they're using you as a pivot point to get to bigger things.
Yeah, to piggyback on that, one thing I teach my students is your hackers tend to be, unless they're targeting someone specifically, they tend to go for the low-hanging fruit. You don't want to be that low-hanging fruit that's easy to compromise. As John said, then maybe you don't have any data that's of any use to them, but you have computer equipment, you have systems in place that they can compromise. And just looking back at the Target hack that most people are familiar with from a few years back, Target by themselves didn't get hacked. It was the HVAC vendor that got hacked. And from there, they pivoted into Target's network. And from there, the rest is kind of history.
I think they were on Target's network for, 9 months before they made the move. I think you kind of asked that, you know, is there specific targets? I think there are maybe some specific targets, but us as individuals, I always tell people, just go with the assumption that your data is out there. You pretty much have to operate under that assumption, but what kind of data is out there now? Is it your credit card number, social security numbers? Try to protect that and keep it as close as you can. But if you go to, what's that website, haveibeenpwned.com and type in your email address, I can pretty much guarantee everybody's email address has been compromised at some way, shape, or form. Every single Yahoo email address has been compromised. Every single LinkedIn account has been compromised. You can go through the list. So we're all victims at some point, whether we realize it or not.
Yeah, very good point, Matt. You said something earlier that security isn't convenient. That's correct, right? Change your passwords often. It can be a pain, but it'll help you in the long run.
In passwords, let me just touch on that again. I hate changing my password. And let's just be honest, how many people have the same password for one or for multiple accounts? Yeah, just look around the room. It just is, right? So the National Institutes of Standard and Technology, called NIST, has come out with a different recommendation, and we'll just touch on this for a moment. Passphrases versus you must be 12 characters long, uppercase, lowercase, numbers. Everybody hear that? And when you get a password generated for you, what's the first thing you do? You write it down, right? Stick it under a keyboard. We look for that all the time when we go into business from a physical security standpoint. So if you can come up with a phrase, and your accounts or tools like Facebook or system accounts, if you can come up with a phrase like, you know, I hate strawberries but love giraffes, right? Those type of phrases that are unique to you, you probably don't have to change them as often, but you'll actually make it very difficult for a hacker to get to it. Last but not least, there are tools out there, iPass, KeyPass, and everything else, or similar tools where you can put your passwords in that also help manage those for you, so take advantage of those.
Yeah, good point, John. The other thing out there is MFA, 2FA. If anybody knows what that is, multi-factor authentication. Crazy it is, hackers have figured out how to get around some of these methods as well. But if you implement this type of technology, so when you log in your email with your password, maybe it'll send you a code on your smartphone device where you'll punch that in order to gain access. That's giving you two factors allowed into your email, right? At least that helps divert them a little bit. Maybe they'll go for the guy next to you that's not utilizing that. So.
I was going to make one comment. How often do you have to change your passwords? Like every 90 days, right? That usually follows the seasons or the holidays. So I guarantee someone's password in this room is fall 2019 or Halloween 2019 or Thanksgiving 2019. And that's exactly what John's pen tester guys look for.
Mine's actually pumpkin spice, but
pumpkin spice. That's probably on the list of ones they're trying to.
So what's interesting about that, to hack passwords is really pretty easy. It's just a matter of time, right? I'll go spin up what GPUs at Amazon and as many as I need depending on what the business wants. But I have a list of 500 million passwords that have been compromised that I can actually use to try to get yours. And sometimes it's pretty quick. We cracked a national password for a telco provider in 5 days. And they went around and installed this equipment all over the country. It took us just 5 days and we had it.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much, gentlemen. We have, you saw what these guys make a year, what cybersecurity professionals make. There's 5 billable hours on stage. We just had access to like $1,500 worth of knowledge at least, so that's great. Also, thank you to Jason and Jason from Checkpoint. They provided the delicious donuts this morning, so hope you enjoyed those. There's plenty left, so grab more on the way out. One last question real quick for small business owners, entrepreneurs. I'm sure it's hard to access cybersecurity because you're scared of what it's going to cost. John, real quick, can you say when a small business owner or entrepreneur is looking at building out their strategy and their financial projection, what percentage of their revenue or what percentage do you typically recommend for that they should commit and plan on spending on cybersecurity?
So instead of going based on revenue, I would say look at spending at a few $100s every month and make it an annualized plan and carve it out for your business. So if you're in the larger your business, allocate a little bit more funds because the greater risk you probably also have for the number of people that are working for you. So if you allocate a few $100s a month for a small business, which is $2,500 to $3,600 a year, I think it's a great starting point for you.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Round of applause for John on our panel here this morning. So this kicks off some 3 really cool weeks in a row we've got going on. Next week, we've got North Dakota's First Lady going to be on the stage talking about her Recovery Reinvented program. So you don't want to miss that. And then again, in 2 weeks' time, we're going to be at the Main Street Summit. So thank you. Have a great rest of your week.